Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Airsick Hydra. Guess what? We have a first beta branch information leak from the developers. It's not even a leak, it's just they've put a post out that there is going to be a patch coming out fairly shortly for Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. And we have some information as to what's going to be in it and what's happening, and this is very, very exciting stuff. One thing I will say about this developer is they're definitely scratching the right places. As a consumer, I really feel like they're doing a good job of watering and feeding me. They're certainly talking the talk. Obviously, if we go through this step by step, they start off with the usual spiel of, we are developers, we're listening to what you say, your reviews are very important, etc, etc. You're happy about some things, we're happy that you're happy, and we hope you like our game. All just sort of, let's say, standard stuff. Now, there's going to be a beta branch, and I really like beta branches for the reason that, A, players are not necessarily subjected to catastrophic patches where everything goes wrong. The accountability almost shifts slightly to the player base when there is a beta branch, because you're all playing it, you're all testing it, and when it goes live, it's sort of, well, hey, it worked on the beta branch, everyone saw it was working. You know, there's no longer that sort of mysterious, oh, well, you guys didn't do a good job of QAing it properly. And it allows people to say as well, if things have been overtuned, it allows them to make corrections before a patch goes live. This is really, really good. Allowing players to give feedback on balance changes before they're pushed live is really, really important, especially for a developer, sorry guys, that has a bit of a reputation for overbalancing and over-nerfing things. This is very, very, very good, and I'm very pleased to see this. Now guys, I can't believe I nearly forgot this, so I'm editing this back in afterwards. Pretty embarrassing derp from me, but guys, they're working on a grand campaign. This sounds pretty impressive to me, because I think it's fairly safe to say a grand campaign is going to be for the 12 factions rather than just the 5 that are currently sort of have access to a campaign. I know there's 3 campaigns, one of them's a mixture of 3 factions though, so hence 5. But yeah, guys, this is pretty big, I think. For those of you that are obviously unhappy with the move away from the old skirmish mode, this might make you happy if you prefer that narrative style RTS. Obviously we don't know what it is, if it's any good, but I'm really happy to see that they're doing something, and this is a big undertaking as well. There is a lot of post-release stuff coming. If you're annoyed at them sort of abandoning the last campaign game, there's quite a lot here to look forward to, I think. But anyway, let's move on with the rest. I have to say the first one has tickled me pink. I have been whining, as you may be aware, about Astartes boarding, about lots of people complaining about Tyranid boarding. Basically, boarding has been a fairly central issue within the game that many players just simply don't like as a mechanic, and they have described how they're going to change it to a stacking system. Truth is, I don't really know how it works, but what they've said is the call to arms will be an opportunity to counter it. So suddenly, we have counterplay within the game. Counterplay that isn't just run away from the boarding faction. This excites me. This tickles me. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. I have no idea if it will be good or not, but it at least sounds like a very promising step in the right direction for a game that is about fairly slow, drawn-out battles that are just meaty ships bashing against each other with a point control system on the side. And now we have a potential boarding system that's going to at least be congruent with that. Now, you might not like the current system, and I'm not here just to voice my bit. Oh, no, I am actually. It's a YouTube channel with them. Of course, I'm here to voice some of my opinions. I think this system sounds like it's going to be far more congruent with the game and how it's rocking. Now, the next thing, and boy gee whiz, is this awesome. Battle Group 2v2 beta mode. Okay, basically 2v2 is going to allow 1,000-point fleets instead of 600. This is awesome. This is fantastic. The 2,000 points on a map at once is going to be so much more fun. The question is will it be a bit too chaotic? Will it be a bit too messy? And will this actually, let's just say, work? I think it will, because I think it's very hard to manage a 600-point fleet and have and really feel like you've got something cool. I really think that 600 points just makes you feel like you've got a few little diddy bits. You know, it's kind of like having the crappy toys, you know? You're missing out on the big shiny stuff, and it's just not cool. I really like it. I think it's a fantastic change. I'm really glad to see it. I didn't think we would because of mentions about frame rates, etc. before, but hey, if they're making it work, they're making it work. Really, really happy to see that. Now, campaign, endgame, and massive engagement. So basically, they're increasing the engagements of the single-player campaign. Now here I will admit, I've not actually been playing through the campaign, I've been hooked on multiplayer. But they're increasing the fleet points for the higher renown ranks significantly. You can see the table here as to how much it is. If that tickles you, that's pretty cool, but an extra 300 points is pretty nice. Now we come to balancing, and this is the good stuff. Let's look at the new table. Oh boy, okay. So firstly, let's just say that they've mentioned that they want to introduce competitive seasons and rewards in Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. I do think there's going to be a bit of a kickback from PvE players saying, hang on, we're not getting rewards. Who knows what they will be? I presume it will be portraits. I think it's fairly safe to say that there's not much else it could be, unless you do ship skins, which would just be weird. Well, who knows, though? Who knows? I'm just speculating. Maybe it will be something shiny to go around your name when you're matchmaking. Who knows? But anyway, they're planning on doing some competitive leagues, and here we have the actual current win rate. Now, this has changed a little bit from the previous. Azerani gone up a little bit, Orcs a bit more where I'd expect them to be, and Drukhari as well. Now, we could spend quite a lot of time analysing this. Very surprised Space Marines are fairly low down, given the top of the leaderboard is dominated by them, but I think we all kind of know why that is. Space Marines are a very popular entry faction. So they've got two ends of the spectrum. They're doing really well at high end, very poorly at low end. If you're taking battle barges with them, you're taking some of your big stuff, you're probably going to lose. That's just kind of how it is. But they're really good with the light cruiser meta, so who knows? But it's pretty much what we would all expect. Drukhari doing pretty well. Orcs, pretty straightforward to play, can't go too far wrong. Orcs have some really insane value ships, not too surprising. Azerani getting more popular. As you can see as well, that where are the other Elder in there? The Corsairs, 50%. I think that seems pretty good now. Obviously, some people not too happy about them, but what we can see if we scroll down a little bit further is they've mentioned that they want to try and bring the range down for some of the hit and run fleets, so players have a better opportunity to attack and engage them. This, to me, sounds like a fairly sensible move. We have to see how it actually plays out, but we'll have to sort of keep a close eye on this one. It could very easily go the other way, but hey, if the hit-and-run fleets end up being a little bit underpowered and have to be sort of incredibly micro-intensive to be played at a higher level, I think that's probably preferable to where we are now. Fingers crossed, though. As they're saying, Orcs are performing very well. They want to sort of take a little bit of a backseat with making too many changes there. And Imperial Navy and Mechanicus seem to be suffering a little bit, which is curious, seeing as the Navy is quite a bit better than the Mechanicus. But they're still looking to do a little bit of a buff based on their special maneuver, because their performance drops significantly in legendary rank. Yeah, so basically these two factions are not performing very well at high level, and it's really, really nice that they're acknowledging that and saying, look, they're performing okay with percentages, but they are admitting that they're not doing that well at high level. And of course, in bold, they're going to be keeping an eye on various feedback and, making changes accordingly. Thus far, guys, looking really, really good. Few other bits of balancing to go through, quite a lot of campaign stuff, and I might have to leave some of you to let's just say peruse this at your own leisure. I think we'll leave a link down to the down within the doobly-doo, but general balancing, and we'll try and peg out some highlights here. Critical chance of lances doubled, very big one. Bioplasma also doubled, really good, because they are kind of underperforming at the moment. Ramming damage increased by 50%. Damn. Ships are less likely to suffer system critical hits depending on their tonnage. That is so huge. That's going to make those big ships a lot tougher to take down, and might be a really, really nice compensation for some of these big ships that just aren't very good value for cost. It might make them a lot tougher to kill. I really like this change. This is maybe one of the ones I'm most excited about. Now, we've got some other stuff too. Drukhari ships lock-on stance replaced by tracking sense. That's very interesting. Although I'm pretty sure all Drukhari are rocking reload right now. Interesting though, interesting. But I will be very curious to see how that rocks out. And if you're a Drakari that's currently rocking the lock-on stance the majority of the time, let me know. Tracking sensors, I mean, we're going to have some angry Drakari out there, aren't we? Disruptor Bomb has been changed from 10 to 15 seconds. I like this because it's a guaranteed hit on the majority of opponents that are fairly slow. The cooldown has also been increased for Disruption Bomb. Again, I think that's pretty good. The Augur Array has also been buffed, which is good. Mecha Dominator effect increased from 10 to 30 seconds, making it potentially very, very strong. That's 30 seconds of an enemy not being able to do anything other than using a rally, I think, to break it. Slanesh, if you've been against Chaos, those guys have been able to disable a few ships for up to 10 seconds. That's going down to 5, which seems reasonable because Slanesh is like the obvious choice for a Chaos player right now. It's so good. Lichter Ships, Lichter Brood upgrade applies to all ships, not just light cruiser. That makes sense. I don't know how much of a change that will be, but it sounds fairly good. But I don't think it's getting used that much anyway. Not having Lightning Strike does hurt the Tyranids a little bit. Resurrection Orb gives 3 troops instead of 1, also pretty cool. And something that I'm really excited about is the Dark Matter Cannon speed reduction reduced from 50% to 25%. And still has a slow on it, that's absolutely fine, but we'll have to see how that does. Guys, that's some pretty impressive looking balance changes. I'm really happy. We've also got some co-op stability changes. We've got lots of different bug fixes. If we scroll all the way, I'll let you guys peruse this as you like, but that's a lot of bug fixes. And lastly, some structure fixes too. Guys, looking really, really good. I have to say the patch notes really, really tickle me. I think this looks wicked. I'm really looking forward to testing this out. I think the balance changes to me look pretty appropriate, but we're going to have to wait and see how they play. For me, most exciting thing is crit resist based on tonnage. I think that is awesome. Let me just scroll back up again to have a look at it. I want to see how much actual crit resist it is. Oh, looking good. Guys, see you next time.